Alex, I walked into the shop this morning and the smell of toasted walnut and ozone hit me, and for a second, I forgot it was 2026. Then I looked at my 3D printer farm and realized one of them was busy thinking about a tool handle while I was asleep. It's a strange time to be a person who likes to move heavy things around.
Tiger, if you didn't have something to worry about, I'm pretty sure you'd just start sanding a board down to nothing just to feel something. But you're right. It's Friday, July 5th, and the world is moving a lot faster than your old manual lathe.
Hey, that lathe has character. It's got resistance. But speaking of things moving fast, have you seen what's happening with the new bamboo stuff? They just dropped this A2L. It's like they realized those of us with hands the size of dinner plates were tired of printing things in four different pieces and gluing them together like a middle school art project.
I was looking at that. The H2 module compatibility is the real kicker, though, isn't it? Usually, these companies want you to buy a whole new ecosystem every time they sneeze.
Exactly. It's the first time in a while a tech company hasn't tried to subscription model my hardware into the ground. It's got that extra build volume, which means I can finally print a full-scale wearable helmet or a functional shop jig without that seam down the middle that always looks like a scar. It's funny. We used to dream about having a Star Trek replicator, and now we're just annoyed when the bed leveling takes more than 30 seconds.
We are remarkably spoiled. But wait, I saw the renders for the Creality K3. They're calling the new OS Clytek. But Tiger, they're just renders. Why are people losing their minds over a digital drawing?
Because hope springs eternal in the heart of a maker, Alex. Look, move-by-wire AI monitoring is the holy grail. I've spent more hours than I'd like to admit staring at a plastic bird's nest because a print failed 3 minutes after I turned the lights out. If Clytek actually uses AI to see a spaghetti monster forming and kills the print, that's not just a feature. That's an act of mercy for my sanity.
I'll believe it when I see it actually stop a fail, and not just send you a polite notification while your printer turns into a plastic volcano.
Fair point. But while we're talking about smooth, did you see the new Prusament? They're doing a Galaxy Black in TPU.
TPU, the flexible stuff?
Yeah, usually TPU looks like a gummy bear that's been through a rough divorce. It's functional but ugly. This stuff is 95A, so it's rugged, but it's got that glitter-infused look. I'm thinking about the seals on that vintage restoration I'm doing. Imagine opening a greasy old engine and seeing a gasket that looks like a midnight sky. It's completely unnecessary, and that's exactly why I love it.
Okay, let's pivot from the toys, even though I know you hate calling them that, to the actual money. The JLL report came out, and Tiger, the numbers are, well, they're terrifying if you're a developer, but they look like a gold mine for everyone else.
2.1 million, that's the number. 2,100,000 empty spots at the workbench by 2030.
It's a massive gap. We've spent 30 years telling everyone they need to be a content strategist or a brand evangelist, and now there's nobody left who actually knows how to wire a three-way switch or sweat a pipe without burning the house down.
I've seen some of those evangelists try to use a screwdriver. It's like watching a cat try to play the piano. It's adorable, but nothing's getting tuned. But seriously, if you're 20 years old right now and you're looking at the world, that $2 or a million opportunity isn't just about swinging a hammer. It's about being the person who can bridge the gap between old world dirty hands and new world tech.
Right, like the Stack report mentioned. AI on the job site. You were talking about this the other day. How AI isn't coming for the plumber's job. It's coming to help the plumber not hate his life.
Exactly, we're seeing these guys using AI for de-risking projects. Back in the day, scheduling meant I had a calendar with coffee stains on it and a prayer that the drywallers showed up before the painters. Now, these data center builds are so complex that if the cooling system isn't perfectly synced with the electrical grid, the whole thing melts. If you want the real money, don't just be an electrician. Be the person who understands data center cooling and smart infrastructure. That's where the high six-figure salaries are hiding in plain sight. It's the new high ground.
So you're saying I should trade my microphone for a hard hat and a specialization in liquid cooling for server farms?
I'm saying if you do, you'll be able to afford a lot more microphones. It's a trade gold rush, Alex. The person who can speak computer and copper pipe at the same time is basically a wizard in 2026.
Speaking of wizards, or at least people trying to sell their magic, let's talk Maker Mogul. You saw the 2026 social ads guide. They're saying static images are officially dead.
Rest in peace, the perfectly staged photo. Honestly, good riddance. I'm tired of seeing a table in a white room with a single succulent on it. Tell me how you made it. Show me the chips flying. Show me the moment you almost ruined it, and had to save it with a clever inlay.
They're calling it process porn, which is a bit much, but I get it. People want to see the struggle, don't they?
They want the truth. A finished product is just an object. The story of how it survived the bandsaw is what people actually buy. And the radius targeting they mentioned, that's the smartest thing I've heard in years for furniture makers.
Because shipping a mahogany dining table to the other side of the country is a nightmare of crates and insurance?
I once shipped a sideboard to Oregon. By the time it got there, it had a hole in it the size of a grapefruit, and the customer was crying, and I was crying, and the shipping company just sent me a form letter. If you can find the 50 people within 50 miles of your shop who want a custom piece, you don't need a global audience. You just need a local reputation. You're a craftsman, not a logistics manager. Sell to your neighbors.
And the ROI formula, calculating that customer acquisition cost. Do you think makers actually do that? Or do they just bark at the moon and hope for a sale?
Most of us just throw a $50 bill at Instagram and hope it comes back as 100. But if your cost to get a customer is higher than what you're making on the cutting board, you aren't running a business. You're running an expensive hobby. You have to be as precise with your spreadsheet as you are with your calipers. It's not selling out. It's staying in business.
I want to talk about that DIY challenge. The countertop fabrication story was intense. Watching someone take a raw slab of stone and turn it into a kitchen island, that's a lot of pressure. One wrong move and you're out $5,000.
It's the ultimate high-stakes poker game. But that wet saw technique, people are terrified of it, but it's actually a smoother experience than dry cutting wood. It's quiet, it's cool, and once you understand how the stone breathes, it's incredibly satisfying. It's about respect. You can't bully stone, you have to negotiate with it.
Well, you say that, but then I read the story about the guy who built 42 luxury homes in a foreign country. That sounds like a lot of negotiating.
That guy's a legend. Think about that. He takes his tools, hops on a plane to a place where they don't even speak his language, and starts building. Why? Because a plumb line is a plumb line. Gravity doesn't care what passport you hold. A well-cut rafter fits the same in New Zealand as it does in New York.
It's a universal language. I think that's what people forget. You can be an outsider in every other way, but if you can build a house that doesn't leak, you're the most important person in town.
It's the ultimate job security. It's the only resume that actually matters. Here is the thing I built. It stands up. It's beautiful.
So, for our listeners this weekend, what's the TigerDen challenge? Aside from not cutting our thumbs off?
That's a given. No, here's what I want you to do. Go into your shop or your garage or that corner of the kitchen where you keep your tools and look for the ouch factor.
The ouch factor?
Yeah, the thing that annoys you every single time you do it. Maybe you have to move 3 boxes to get to your drill. Maybe your sandpaper is in a jumbled mess and you spend 10 minutes hunting for a 120 grit. Identify one bottleneck, just one. And instead of starting a new project, build a jig or a rack to fix that one thing.
So make the making easier.
Precisely. We spend so much time working on our projects that we forget to work on our process. If you fix one bottleneck a week, by Christmas, you'll feel like you've got a superpower.
I love that. And honestly, it's a lot cheaper than buying that new laser you've been eyeing.
Hey now, let's not say things we can't take back. There's always room for a new laser.
Of course there is. This has been the TigerDen Daily for June 5th, 2026. If you want to dive deeper into the trade paths or the maker mogul strategies we talked about, check the show notes.
Stay sharp, folks. And remember, the wood doesn't know it's Friday. Keep building.